Baron Plays. This will be episode 14 of Austerlitz by Hexasim Games. Me playing as the French and Mark playing as the coalition. So at the end of the last episode, we had Mark finally make a decision which command he was going to activate. And he's activated Docturov, and he sees the initiative for the beginning of the 9 a.m. turn, which I think is the right decision he made there, unfortunately. So moving on, he sent me a log file. We'll go through this log. I'll send back a log, and then we'll take it from there. So, hi Aaron. Okay, back to the log files for a while. Docturov is activated. Alexander has recently rallied routed regiments, and he already has his men across the stream in a bridgehead. It's time to take Skolnitz once again. Okay, this area here. Okay, firstly, the offensive fire phase. These are things I most fear. Look at the size of these batteries. Okay. Right. Sievier's Grand Battery here, with the addition of the foot batteries A and E under Docturov. Okay, yeah. Begin the assault against the village garrison. 14-5 battery with 26th Liga. So firing on here. Okay. With 23 strength points of artillery, they fire at -2. Yes, for every 10 strength points, you get a -1. But with +1 for the ridge for a net -1. Okay, he rolls an 8, so that we modify it to a 7, which is a QFT. My morale is a 7 there. French morale is 7. Okay, I roll a 6. Whew! Pass. Battery D, okay, here. We'll now fire at Davu and his cavalry across the stream. No DRMs this time because he's got only 8 strength points of artillery. Rolls a 9, no effect. The Moscow regiment fires at the Tyroliers. Moscow regiment there, firing on the Tyroliers in there. +1 for the village. 5 becomes a 6, no effect. Finally, Yaroslavl regiment versus the garrison. Yeah, okay, it's unlikely to score with that. Okay, no. All right, so survived the offensive fire, and now he's moving. Right, the move with the artillery from there, you can always move 1 hex, no matter the movement point cost us, which he's applying there, because normally it's +3 to leave the actual hex. Okay, moving up some more troops to take in the Turpo. Ooh. That's not necessarily a good decision. In actual fact, I think that's a bust because they're from different formations. Looking at here. Okay, Control C. Better pause that to double check that. He's actually correct. The exception, regardless of the stacking limit, 2 combat units of any category from the same formation, +1 artillery unit from any formation may stack together. So yeah, that is legit. Okay, so we'll carry on going through his log. I really wish I'd won the initiative because I needed to bolster some of that defense. It's looking a bit tatty. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Change of mind, Ari the cavalry. Wait a sec, he's changing his mind. Okay. Melee declaration. Here they come. And back to me for defensive fire. Gulp. I've got very little here. Right. Okay, so that ends his log. I then sent him a log. Okay. so if I go from here, load continuation, yeah, and I can bring up, that was his log, this is my log back. Oh yes, I've got, if you notice there is another log. So yeah, I'm going through these and I sort of know what the results are, but anyway, hi Mark, defensive fire. This is where I made a decision. I think I want to play a card. And I play the card that he played on me last time. Okay, so let's read that. Select any enemy stack that is currently activated. So this will be affecting these guys. And adjacent to an enemy, adjacent to a hex containing a combat unit of its side. So it's got to be one that's adjacent to one of his own units, which is itself is within 3 hexes of a unit from the other side, which they are. Lead unit of the chosen enemy stack loses 1 step and must pass to QFT 1. Play at the end of an enemy movement segment on or before 10 AM. So I knew there was a time limit on this card that, okay, I had to play it now. He probably can play it next turn if he so wishes. Remember, can only play 1 card per turn. Okay, so this is my card for the whole of the 9 AM turn. Hopefully to stymie something here. Okay, the same one you played on me as a time, yeah, as I mentioned. So I'm going to select the stack with the Moscow lead unit. So I'm selecting this one here. So that 973 there, just to try and weaken those a bit. The lead unit uses 1 step and must pass the QFT 1. Now, this is, I actually text Mark at this point to ask a question because the direct reading of the card is in reverse to the normal reading of the rules. Normally, when you have to take a QFT into step loss, you take the QFT first. You're testing the QFT with the morale that is normally better. So they would be testing at 7. But this card specifically mentions loses a step and must pass the QFT 1. So, but the last time when he played it, we played it as per the standard rule. So to be fair, we play it as a standard rule, as you will see here. Now is that in order? Yeah. Let's see what the QFT is to see if it has any further effect. So I thought, let's carry on the log, see if it has any effect. Of course it does. Because with a 6 plus 7, as they are at the moment, they pass, but if they had taken the step loss, they would have failed. Of course it might do. Okay. If following the strict law of the card, you take a step loss and then a QFT, which you fail, but normally it's the QFT first and then the step loss, but the card is quite specific. Passing back for your opinion. And his opinion was play it as we did the first time play it, which makes sense. If we played it one way beforehand, let's play it that way again. So I will now power up the next log. Okay, so tools, low continuation, proceed anyway, about bringing up that log. So we'll play this card. So if he plays it next turn as well, we'll play it as the standard rules, and then in the next game, we'll use it as written. Okay, might do the logical thing and check the last time we played the card, which, why I didn't do that, I don't know. So the unit passes the QFT and takes a step loss. Okay, so now he's coming in, and then I flip the order of them, because normally when you take a step loss in a hex, you can change the stacking order. So you still want to come in with a 7 morale there. Okay. Change the lead unit. Now my defensive fire. Okay, so PO firing at the lead unit there. +1 unit size, -1 light. So what that means is because it's so little firepower coming from here, +1 modifier, but they are light infantry, so there's a -1 modifier. Roll of 5, it's QFT, which they pass in Sterling style. Okay, that unit now. +1 unit size, -1 lights again. It's you must have 4 increments in a hex not to be modified by that +1 for unit size. A roll of 3, so some nice low rolls here. Okay, so that will be, ouch, QFT1 and a step. He passes the QFT1. So this attack will be going in. Okay. All right, and then on my gun battery there, should I split fire? Okay, so what do I actually mean? I'm not going to, but what do I actually mean there? So normally it's only the top unit that can fire, but in defensive fire, you can split the fire if you've got a gun and an infantry. So I could fire the infantry here and the gun here. But the downside to that is the shot gets an additional +1. Remembering the higher the roll, the least effect. So I decided not to. +1 battery size. Again, it's got less than 4 increments. -1 for being adjacent. Have a bit of grape shot. On a 9, all that yak, no effect anyway. Okay, and over to him for the attacks. So let's bring in the next log file. So no continuation for him to do his assaults. There it is. Okay. All right. The move to assault the Tyrolians in the north of Austerlitz has proven very costly so far. Okay, some good shooting by the French skirmishers in their fortified buildings. Absolutely. Still, Docturov has his orders from on high to secure the village as soon as possible. So sacrifices have to be made. Okay. It's my card. I've moved the card into the card section for now. Yeah. Results being against the castle. Light troops 1-7 Jaegers cease their pinning assault. Okay. And we'll go in. Fair enough. Yeah, after your defensive fire, you decided what attacks aren't or are going in. So moving that, they're not going in. So the rest of them continue. Right, so the odds are 5-1. Yeah, I got that. So -5 DRM, but +2 for the garrison. For the castle defenses, netting -3. Rolls an 8, becomes a 5. So it's a QFT1. Okay, so then morale is 7. So they fail by 1. Fail by 1, so the unit will retreat. I checked if there was any further protection for the garrison in terms of QFT bonuses for the castle, but there are none. I had Hugamo and Lahese in mind. Yeah, in the Waterloo game, if you they do get bonuses, you've got to have, do more than the QFT1 fail to push them out. In this case, no, that's right. Oh, he's taking his first objective. Okay. Hopefully the column can get their Jaegers into the castle in the near future. Hopefully not. Next, the 2 Russian columns will assault the village itself. Okay, I presume he's talking about here. There, yeah, and there. Okay. In they come. 12 SPs and 17 SPs for 29 total, versus 4 for -5 DRM, so it's 5-1, yeah. But +1 for the stream, yeah, and they're all coming across the stream, and +1 for the village for a net -3. Okay, so I need to roll high. 6. That's not high. Okay, modify to a 3 for a QFT1 +R. Well, they're going to die, guys. A decent result for the Russians. Ooh, and a 10. And the morale is 7. Okay, looks like a rout. Yeah, can't help the die rolls. The rout triggers this additional loss for the final step of the foot battery after the R result is applied and the Russians move into the village at last. Okay, what's he meaning there? So going through it step by step, the R result, so the QFTR failed, so R out. Okay, then the R result comes in. I've got reduced infantry unit, so that would be eliminated. The battery would then be flipped. But because the stack routes, okay, any artillery in a hex which stack routes is then losing an additional step. So it clears the village completely. Has he just done that? Route triggers the additional loss of the final step and the foot battery. Okay, he's mentioned what I just mentioned. And in they go. Only one infantry unit can advance in. Okay. I've modified the notes for the 9 a.m. turn. What does it mean? Okay, cancel that. Fair enough. Display casualties and also remove the units from the cemetery back into the OE box for the scenario. Okay. I will not push Lady Luck for the final assault against the 3 companies of elite troops. Afraid you must do, Mark, because you didn't remove the melee combat at the end of the defensive phase, so they must go in. Or do I? Well, you don't have a decision here, but okay, let's see what you actually... should the French activate Davo before I can reactivate this column, then you'll get a volley before you move away. While I move away. Okay. I will stick with my initial decision. The melee is called off. Again, unfortunately, it can't be. So I will have to do a split into the log here because that needs to be done. I can see he's going to try and finish the end of the turn there. So file, or should I do it? I'll tell you what, I will do it at the end of everything. I won't do a split log. That might get confusing with the video. So we know that's still going to go in. That's the end of the activation. Housekeeping next. Yeah. Okay, end of turn roll. No, so the turn don't end. Back to the French. Okay. And that ends his log. All right, so I'm now going to begin a log file. Well, log file. Log 22. Boop. 1212. What am I doing? Buffoon. Save. Okay. Right. Hi, Mark. Have to do that. I have actually mentioned to this by phone anyway already. Have to do that assault. So I'm going to put that, mark that with the melee marker just to remind us what we're doing. Okay. So him incoming, he's got 10 versus my 3. 10 v3 equals 3 to 1. However, so that's -3, but my morale's better. So, sorry, QFT and terrain net +2. So total equals -1. Right, let's roll those dice. Becomes a 5. Okay, that's not a bad result. Okay. I need to get the extra combat result tables. Melee with a 5. It's a QFT 1 on my guys. QFT 1. 6th, 7th, they stand. So nothing happened anyway, but at least we followed the rules. So nothing happened anyways. Okay, so I can remove that. So now it's over to my activation. Now, he can't activate Docturov until he's activated somebody else. So is Davo now as important? Or do I actually want to do something where I hurt him elsewhere? So a decision time for me. So before he can activate Docturov again, he's got to activate someone else, which means that I can activate Davo at that point. So yeah, I think I need to put some pressure on somewhere else to try and relieve that, because he's now taken 2 objectives, which it's not big and it's not clever. So I think I'm going to go for Sul. Put some pressure on here. Start moving towards Prats. I mean, the objective for Sul, if I show you the order menu, is Prats. Move those out of the way. There you go. So as long as I move closer to Prats, I might be able to continue the offensive to Kobelnitz as well, or relief of Kobelnitz. The main aim actually is if I can get through to Prats, then this will be in trouble for being enveloped. But there are a lot of very angry Austrians and Russians in this area, so I've got to keep that in mind. Soult can't do it all on his own. We have got Bernadotte floating around somewhere. Oh, and the Imperial Guard. Yeah. Quite a weak reinforcement, really. Okay, so after all that preamble, I'm going to go for Soult. And he's a 9, so got to get 9 or less. Soult's up. Okay, so the first step on here is offensive fire. So I might as well start here and fire along the line and then begin with the batteries. Marking with fire. Get there in the end, there. Targeting there. So are there any terrain in there? So remove everything yet. +1 terrain. So I need a 4. No effect. Okay. And there, I need a 4 too. +1 terrain. Yeah, firing with infantry is quite weak. Some consistently average die rolls there. Okay. Right. So now my batteries open up. Now, whatever fires from here, remember that's going to put that +3 modifier. So these troops aren't going to get very far here, because anything moving through these axes will also suffer that +3 movement. But the aim is not here to bring down the demise, is to soften it up. So, and then keep pushing towards over here. So we have a 9, 5, and a 3 battery. Okay, so if we combine these artillery, um, 9 + 5, or do we combine those two? Yeah, you see, a tricky one. I do want to get a good shot, ideally on this hex here. Well, both of them. Okay, so I'm going to fire the 9. Okay, I was just checking there with the artillery that's those 2 batteries. I can't fire them at separate targets. So they have to fire combined. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 9. So I could get the 9 and the 3. So let's do that. So this battery here and this battery here, so that's 12, we'll fire here. 12, fire, power. So net -1. Okay. 5 becomes a 4. That's a good shot. That's a Q of T1 plus a step. QFT1 plus 1 step. Okay, so that QFT is tested on the lead infantry unit, which is the highest stack there. So it's the Rizan B, morale 7. 7. It was a QFT1, so that becomes an 8. But they haven't got anyone adjacent. So they don't have to retreat, so no effect. I'd have had to have got 3 difference to them. They would have to have got a 9, and they would have routed. So losing the step will be done on that risen unit. So now they're reduced. Okay. Right. And then the middle one here onto here. Okay, but I need to mark these with fire. Fire. All right, so that is 5, so no modifier. Now him firing back, because they're not as good gunners, he gets a +1 as a range. I only get +1 at range 4. So that's why I'm trying to stay at range 3 at the present moment, because I'm not getting any modifiers, whereas he does. So 9, no effect. On it. Any other artillery want to fire around here? Not really. So that's me fires. Yeah, moves. None really. Wait, none really. No more fire. No more fire. Okay. Moves. Okay, all right, so now we have a situation here that they're quite weak. I mean, look, they've got morale 6. I could go in there with morale 8. Davu makes 9, so that'd be 3 difference. They've only got 10 strength. But it would be an assault by 1 hex through here, because these guys, well, I suppose it's +3, so it's 4. Okay, I could get some more here. So I could get 30 strength points, maybe. Is that a morale? Morale 8. Still got to face those nasty guns, but wherever these Russians are, there's nasty guns. Okay, or do I reinforce these guys? Because these are all flipped now and reduced. Let me pause for a moment. So after a little ponder, yeah, I am going to make an assault here, but I definitely need to reinforce there as well. So anything that moves here must maintain the same distance from Pratt's and not move any further. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a unit here can't move to here because it'd be moving further away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move from there to there to 9. That's further. So I can't reinforce this hex with those guys because they're not maintaining, they're increasing the distance to Pratt's. I can fall back from there to there. In actual fact, that's increasing the distance. Am I that bothered about him having complaints? Not really, but I want a fresh unit here as a lead unit because they're all reduced. Remember, I can count 20 steps of units. So we've got, I'd like to have an 8 there. And we have a 7 there. Not enough 8 strength units. AQFT, yeah, to get to here. So remember, so he's going to fall back to there. Okay, that gives me a strength of 10. Remember, I can only count 20 in defense. Anyway, but then you'd have to get quite a bit there. So morale, I'm going to put the 7 on the top there. And give them an 8 to boost. So there we go. We have a strength there of 8 plus 8, 16 plus 5, 21. Okay, just to hold the northern part of the actual village. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The unit that moved from there to there has maintained the same distance to Pratt. Okay, so I now move this guy from here. So that will be 4, because it's plus 3 to leave, plus 1 is 4, 5. And they all can move into there. So that will be the actual assault that will be going in. Hopefully going in. Let's find the artillery first. Okay. So the rest of Soul's corps. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Do I really want to move the artillery forward? I'm happy at this range, because if he activates, then it'll be 2x range, so it's the same. So I'm happy to keep my artillery back here. What's he got? He's still got... I don't really want to get any closer here at the present moment, because I'm not planning to attack there as yet. So I just need to rearrange some of these stacks. So artillery battery needs some infantry with it. 1, 2. Okay. What's he got here? He's got an artillery. So I want some 1. See, is that really necessary? Right, we've got 8, 7, 15 infantry there, plus 9, which is double 25. The 9 artillery is actually 18, so can't put any more artillery in there. I don't really want them taking pot shots along here, these guys. So ideally, I want some more infantry. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he can't go down here, because that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So restriction is the Pratt. So I need to change my orders to hurt that. Okay. Or am I pussyfooting around? I am, aren't I? Yeah, I am. I'll make a decision here. Yeah, I'm trying to rush it. I don't need to. Okay. So I'm going to move this cavalry here. I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 cavalry there. In case Liechtenstein is unleashed, and I can protect my infantry a little bit. He can't fire the artillery there. I suppose he could. 3 hex range. +1. Okay, I'll take a risk there. My horse battery. Move it here, that gives me 10 points of artillery, plus 30 points, 23. So that's fine, that's been stacking. I want to put some cavalry here, just as a threat. Okay. So yeah, I think that might be Sul done. So, all right, so mark him with, well, that's marking leader, isn't it? Okay. Melee shock, and rotate that around. Don't really need to, but there we go. Okay, so I'm going to part. Well, he's only got one defensive fire, but he might have a card he wishes to play at this point. So I will pass back, and I'm going to end this episode. So with that in the balance. So thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed what you're seeing. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already and you've enjoyed multiple videos of mine. Why haven't you hit the subscribe? And hit the alarm button as well, and you'll know when any new actual content comes up. Comments, as always, much appreciated. Any discussion on this game and the system. And I hope you're, as I say, you're enjoying what you're watching, because I'm finding this fascinating as always. Until next time, bye.